The old lady at the end of the corridor. No one remembered when the old lady first came to live in house number 47. The house itself stood at the far end of the village, where the road thinned into a cracked strip of earth and the streetlights stopped working. Children were warned not to go there. Dogs refused to bark near it. Even the wind seemed to slow down when passing its rusted gate. The villagers only knew her as Daddy Amma. She was always seen sitting on a wooden chair near the front window, her back bent unnaturally, her hands folded in her lap like they were carved from stone. Her eyes, cloudy and pale, never blinked. Day or night, rain or heat, she sat there, staring into nothing. At first, people felt pity. She must be alone, they said. She must be waiting for someone. But with time, pity turned into fear. Because the old lady never moved. 1. The first sound. Ion returned to the village after 12 years. The city had hardened him, made him practical, skeptical. He laughed when his mother warned him about house number 47. Ami, ghosts don't exist, he said, placing his bag down. They do when they wear human skin, she replied quietly. That night, Ion couldn't sleep. At exactly 3:17 a.m., a sound crept into his room. Tap, tap, tap. It wasn't loud. It wasn't rushed. It was patient, like fingers tapping on wood. He held his breath and listened. The sound was coming from outside, toward the old lady's house. Curious more than afraid, Ion stepped out into the cold night. The moon was thin, barely lighting the path. As he walked closer to house number 47, the tapping stopped. The front window was open, and the old lady was gone from her chair. Ion felt a sudden chill crawl up his spine. Then he heard a whisper. Ah, gay ho. He turned around. No one was there. 2. The village secret. The next morning, Ion asked around. An old shopkeeper froze when he mentioned the house. You shouldn't look at her, the man said. And if she looks at you, don't answer. Why? Ion asked. The shopkeeper lowered his voice. Because she doesn't see faces. She sees years. According to the villagers, Daddy Amma was not just old, she was ancient. She had been there before electricity, before roads, before the village even had a name. People who spoke to her began to age rapidly. A young bride once greeted her politely. Within a week, her hair turned white. A child waved at her from the road. He stopped growing after that day. A man mocked her limp walk. He was found dead the next morning, his body shriveled like a dried leaf. She takes time, the shopkeeper whispered. Not life. Time. Ion laughed nervously, but deep down, something felt wrong. That evening, as the sun dipped, he saw her again. Back on the chair, smiling. 3. The smile that didn't belong. Her smile was wrong. It stretched too far, pulling her cracked lips upward while her eyes remained empty. Her teeth were yellow, uneven, and far too many for a human mouth. Ion felt watched. As he turned away, he heard the chair creak. Slowly. Behind him, he ran home. That night, the tapping returned, this time inside his house. Tap, tap, tap. From the corridor, Ion peeked out. The corridor was longer than it should have been. The walls looked stretched, the floorboards older. At the far end stood the old lady. Inside his house, she was standing upright now, taller than before. Her neck was bent at an unnatural angle, her head tilted as if listening. Tum hein yat hai, she whispered, jab tum yahan se gay thay. Ion couldn't speak. She took one step forward. The lights went out. 4. The dream that wasn't a dream. Ion woke up in his bed, drenched in sweat. Morning light streamed through the window. It was just a nightmare, he told himself. But when he looked at his hands, they were different. Veins bulged beneath thinning skin. Dark spots dotted his fingers. He looked in the mirror. He looked older. Not by years. By decades. Panic took over. He rushed outside, only to see the old lady watching him from her window. She nodded slowly. Thora sa wakt lia hai, she said softly. Ba itna. He tried to leave the village that day. The bus never came. The road looped back to house number 47. No matter which direction he walked, he ended up there. 5. The truth beneath the house. Desperate, Ion broke into the house that night. The air inside was thick, stale, and smelled of decay. The walls were lined with old photographs, faces from different eras, all staring blankly. Every photo showed the same thing. The old lady, standing behind them, smiling. In the basement, he found a pit filled with clocks, hundreds of them, broken, ticking, melting into one another. And at the center of it all was a mirror. In the mirror, he didn't see himself. He saw her, young, beautiful, hungry. I was given a curse, her voice echoed. To live forever, by taking what others waste. She stepped out of the mirror. And you, she said, touching his face, have so much time left. 6. The last morning. The villagers found house number 47 empty the next day. The chair sat by the window. Occupied. But this time, it wasn't the old lady. It was Ion. His skin gray, eyes cloudy, back bent forward. Still breathing. Still watching. And somewhere in the distance, a young woman walked into the village, her steps slow, her smile familiar. Epilogue. Now, if you ever pass an old house at the end of a silent road, and see an old lady sitting by the window, don't look too long, because she may already be looking at your time. And she is very patient. 7. The chair by the window. Ion sat on the wooden chair. He couldn't move. Morning sunlight fell on his face, but it felt cold, lifeless. His body was stiff, bent forward, his hands resting on his knees exactly the way Daddy Amma used to sit. Villagers gathered outside house number 47. No one dared to step inside. Is he alive? Someone whispered. Ion tried to scream. Nothing came out. Inside his chest, his heart beat slowly, painfully, like it was tired of working. Every breath felt borrowed. His eyes moved on their own, turning toward the road. He was watching, waiting, and then he felt it. A pull. Not in his body, but in his mind. Memories that were not his own began flooding in. 8. Her first life. Ion saw a woman running through a forest centuries ago. She was young, terrified. Blood stained her feet. Behind her, villagers chased her with fire and weapons. Dion, they shouted. Witch. She fell near a tree, too weak to stand. An old man stepped forward, not with hatred, but curiosity. You want to live? He asked. She nodded, crying. I will give you eternity, he said. But you will never keep your face. Never keep your name. And never be loved. He cut his palm and pressed it to her forehead. Time entered her. She screamed as her hair turned white in seconds. And that was the day Daddy Amma was born. 9. The rule of time. Ion learned the rules, whether he wanted to or not. She could not kill. She could only take time. A second here. A year there. A lifetime if someone looked too long. That was why children were her favorite. They had the most time. That was why she smiled. She wasn't happy. She was hungry. And now, so was Ion. 10. The girl in the rain. 3 nights later, a girl walked into the village. Her name was Sarah. She was lost, soaked from the rain, phone dead. The villagers watched her nervously. Stay inside after sunset, someone warned. She laughed. It's just a village. She noticed house number 47. And the man sitting by the window. Why is that uncle staring? She asked. Ion felt it, the hunger. His fingers twitched for the first time. Sarah waved at him. That single moment burned. Ion felt warmth rush into his chest. His heartbeat grew stronger. His skin tightened slightly. Sarah frowned. Why do I feel so tired? She murmured. She collapsed before reaching the guest house. By morning, her hair was streaked with white. And Ion smiled. 11. The whispering corridor. That night, Ion stood up from the chair. For the first time, the house welcomed him. The corridor stretched again, longer, darker, breathing softly. Whispers crawled along the walls. More. Take more. Don't stop. At the end of the corridor stood a mirror. But this time, the old lady was not inside it. She stood beside him. You are learning, she said. Can I stop this? Ion asked in his mind. She laughed, a dry, broken sound. Did I ever stop? She placed her hand on his shoulder. Her skin crumbled like ash. One day, she whispered, you will replace me. 12. The village starts dying. Strange things began happening. People woke up older than they slept. Clocks stopped working. Photographs faded overnight. The village doctor aged 10 years in a week. A newborn cried with an old man's voice. Graves appeared without bodies. Everyone avoided house number 47. But time has a smell. And Ion could sense it. He began walking at night. Slow. Silent. People who heard footsteps behind them never turned around again. 13. The last resistance. An old Malvi came to the village. He didn't look at the house. He didn't look at Ion. You are not cursed, he said. You are chosen. Chosen for what? Ion asked. To suffer forever. The Malvi recited prayers, threw holy water at the house. Nothing happened. The old lady laughed. Faith does not stop time, she said. It only delays fear. The Malvi aged in front of them, bones bending, beard whitening, eyes sinking. He died standing. 14. Ion's realization. That night, Ion cried. Real tears. He remembered his mother, his childhood, his name. I don't want this, he whispered. The house answered by showing him the truth. The old lady was fading. Cracks ran through her body. You are stronger, she said. You take faster. She smiled sadly. I am finally tired. 15. The transfer. On the next full moon, the villagers heard screaming. Not from fear, from relief. At dawn, they found house number 47 changed. 2 chairs by the window. One empty, one occupied. The old lady was gone. Ion sat there, older than before, but stable. Eternal. Across the road, a young woman walked slowly into the village. Her back slightly bent, her eyes cloudy. She sat on the second chair, and smiled. Final warning. The curse never ends. It only moves. So if you ever see an old lady sitting quietly by a window, and she smiles at you, do not smile back, because she is not greeting you. She is counting your time.